We're back. Well, this is the 700 Club, and this is your opportunity to email Pat. Log on to CBN.com with any questions about health and fitness. So we're going to jump right in with Kenny.
Go.
I like this question. It says, do you think it's okay for a Christian to have plastic surgery? I have lost over 100 pounds and would like to get rid of the loose skin. Does the Bible address this kind of issue?
I don't think they had plastic surgery in the days of Jesus and the apostles. And the thing of it is, those people were out in the outdoors so much, they were climbing up and down mountains and eating on a very restricted diet. You just didn't have you had a few fat people. Eli was fat, the high priest, but not many were fat. And so this didn't come up. But, I don't see anything wrong with plastic surgery. I mean, is makeup wrong? Is it wrong to put rouge on your cheeks or lipstick, or to have, you know, somebody fix your hair? I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. And if you can afford it, it's not cheap. But especially if somebody's lost 100 pounds and he's got all that hanging, that skin's not going to get any better. So why not have somebody snip it off and fix you? But you'll have some scarring. I mean, it isn't painless. None of that stuff is painless.
I'm with you, Pat. I don't think that plastic surgery is bad at all. I just think everything's about a balance. But a lot of plastic surgeons say, come on, Chrissy, I'll give you something free. I'll say, all right. All right.
Don't you let them touch you. You look great. Go ahead.
Maurice writes in and says, I'm standing and believing in faith for physical healing. Is it lack of faith on my part if I also take medication? Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't think so. I think God uses doctors. I think God gave us the blessings of medicine. And I just am a firm believer in, you know, there's so many godly people in medicine that really want to bring healing and health to people. And I see nothing wrong with praying and asking God to bless, but bless the surgeon, bless the doctor, bless the medicine. In the old days, they didn't have any medicine. I mean, they came to Jesus and he healed them, but it was healing through faith. What do you have?
I agree.
Okay.
All right. Carla writes in and says, a friend of mine has been diagnosed with vertigo due to an inner ear infection. I've experienced dizziness, but she says it's not the same thing. Can you explain the difference between vertigo and dizziness?
Well, dizziness can cause, if you get up too fast, it'll be a rush of blood from your head and you get a little dizzy, or if you take certain medicine, it'll make you dizzy. And, of course, people that are engaging in various types of alcohol or substance abuse can feel dizzy. And also, people have a shock. They you know, blood, and they pass out. There are people who stand in line to get shots, and they just drop.
Yeah.
Well, that's fainting. But vertigo has to do with a problem in your inner ear. There's some little pebbles and some little cilia that tell you whether you're standing upright and so forth. And when these things are out of whack, your sense of balance and place is disturbed. And there's some kind of vertigo that the world goes around, the others that you're going around. And either way, it's not a pleasant situation.
You know, I wonder what makes people faint. Do you know what makes people faint?
I think it's a lack of blood. The blood leaves their head. I mean, it's a shock, and the blood goes someplace other than in their head.
Yeah.
And it's that lack of stuff that causes fainting.
You know, I love to watch old movies, and I was watching an old movie the other day, and as God is my witness, every woman, every time something shocked her, she was like, oh, and would faint. And I'm like, good Lord, what was it about the 1950s that everybody had to faint if something happened to them?
It wasn't the 1950s, it was the 1850s, and that was a womanly response to stress.
Maybe their corsets were too tight and they couldn't breathe.
That's
possibly.
Part of it. If you wore them like Charlotte O'Hara, you had about a
18-inch waist,
yeah. I mean, of course you fainted. All right, what else?
Okay, Lisa writes in and she says, someone told me that bananas can stave off hunger pains and even help you sleep better when eaten before a bedtime snack. What's your take on bananas?
I'm a great fan of bananas. They have a lot of potassium. You need potassium to regulate your blood pressure. It helps stave off heart attacks. You also get calcium, you get fiber in bananas. Bananas are not a low glycemic thing. They're not exactly a diet food, but they certainly are good for you. You see some of these athletes, one particularly who I won't mention because he got in trouble, but nevertheless, you see him, you know, walking the course, and he's eating a banana because they give them a very good shot of food energy. So I'm all for bananas, especially the potassium part of it.
Absolutely. I just think, as you said, you have to watch the glycemic index or the glycemic level because they can be if they're too ripe, too sugary.
Well, they're fattening,
Yeah.
but not that
anyway,
fattening.
not bad.
But they've got a lot of fiber in them, and they do satisfy hunger. When these days when I'm working out, I might eat a banana half an hour before I work out. It's really a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. Peggy, she writes in and she says, I keep hearing how drinking tea, green tea or black tea, is actually better for me than coffee or soda drinks. Does tea still have healthy benefits if it is decaffeinated?
Tea has flavonoids, and I understand the antioxidant effect of tea is 10 times that of fruits and vegetables.
Really?
It is extremely beneficial. The black and green comes from the same plant. It's just the way they process it. But the decaffeinated stuff, if they decaffeinate it the wrong way, they take about 70 or 80% of the benefit out of it. So a little bit of caffeine in tea is not going to hurt you, and you might as well get the full thing.
Absolutely. I didn't know that, Pat.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I should keep listening to you.
Oh, Christy, I'm humbled. What can I say?